Once upon a time, there was a child with two loving parents. The father, who had an underground base, had a mysterious aura about him and was a guy who did what was necessary for tasks to be completed. The mother was kind and gentle, a definite source of comfort for the child. The mother was very aware of the quirks and flaws of her husband, and how his ambition could, or already was, turning him down a dark path. Regardless, she loved him. The child, meanwhile, was always under the watchful eye of their father, who had a very specific future planned out for them, almost like a doll that one could manipulate. Still, all the child wanted to do was please their parents and live happily with them. Alongside this family dynamic was the father's assistant, a lovely woman who had deep feelings for the father. Even while knowing the man was married, she was in love with him, and would even do unethical things for him just to stay by his side. The father would come to have a secret that led to many people getting hurt, day after day. The assistant aided in these pursuits despite the atrocity. This assistant will eventually go against the father once he takes it a step too far, but until then, he has her seemingly undying loyalty. This lady and the child also eventually form a close bond. The mother, unfortunately, was very sick and would soon end up disappearing, being deemed as dead. The child would have no idea the true fate of their mother. In actuality, though, the mother's body was being kept in a secret location by the father, and only he and the assistant knew she was there. The father, revealed as the villain of the story, ends up pursuing his child for the sake of his own ambition, doing what he thinks is right. And the child is just trying to live with the consequences of their father's actions while trying to help those that the father wronged, all while trying to avoid getting captured by the father. We all know this story, right? I, of course, am talking about Mad Father. What? Oh, you expected this to be a Miraculous Ladybug video? Now why in the world would you assume something such as that?
Because this is a Miraculous Ladybug channel.
Hello everyone, my name's Aloubell, and just as the title says, if you like Miraculous Ladybug, there's a pretty decent chance that you'll like Mad Father. Unlike Shugokara, which is a magical girl anime that shares many similarities to Miraculous, one would say a suspicious amount of similarities, Mad Father is a horror game, so a completely different genre. Mad Father is basically, what if Adrien was the main character of Miraculous, as he should be, and his family drama was the focus. Except Adrien doesn't have superpowers and is a little girl. Oh, and once again, it's a horror story. Created by Sen in 2012, Mad Father is a top-down 2D pixelated RPG survival horror game with puzzle-solving elements. It's about an 11-year-old girl named Aya Drevis who has to deal with the consequences of her father, who is a serial killer. Trust me, that's not a spoiler. You learn this fact pretty early in the game. Even Aya is mostly aware that her father is doing something terrible to other people and just kind of brushes it off, considering how much she loves her parents. However, when things get tremendously worse, then it's time for her to act. Now, what I won't fully spoil is what Aya's father's shtick is. All I can say is dolls. But before we talk about this game further, if you're enjoying this video, then haunt the like button and subscribe for more reviews, rants, and rewrites. Follow me on my socials in the description, and be sure to join our community Discord, The Bell Tower. Link also in the description. If you're still watching at this point, put a bow emoji in the comments. Thank you! Just as a heads up, I'm not going to show the bloody stuff as to not incur the wrath of the age restriction bots. Anywho, I discovered Mad Father back during Markiplier's early YouTube days, and I watched him play through this game and the other classic horror RPGs, The Witch's House, Ib, Ao Oni, The Crooked Man, and Misao. Misao takes place in the same universe as Mad Father, by the way. I latched onto Ib and Mad Father the most, but between the two, I really liked Mad Father. From what I could tell, the gameplay was well balanced, the puzzles not too difficult to solve, and the maps pretty easy to navigate through. The pixel art is super aesthetically pleasing and very reminiscent of the older Pokemon games, so it gives it a real nostalgic feeling. The anime-style sprites were also very well done. I really liked the anime style used for the initial version of the game. The music was also nice and did well to add to the appropriately toned atmosphere. The characters are likable, not necessarily admirable, but intriguing. The key players are Aya, her father Alfred, his assistant Maria, her mother Monica, and the minor-ish characters Robin and Ogre. There are some various other vengeful or distressed spirits along the way, but those people I mentioned are the main focus. Aya is a cute little girl with an adorable design, and you can tell how much she adores her parents and how much the entire situation of the game is distressing her. You're rooting for her to win and escape unharmed. At some point, you come to learn of her own quirky hobbies that may influence how things play out in the story. Alfred loves his daughter more than anything in the world and wants her to remain innocent and pure. She's the light in his life of darkness and bloodshed. Keeping all of that in mind, he still has this pesky, nasty habit of killing innocent people. Maria is absolutely and passionately in love with Alfred, and despite Alfred being married when he invited Maria to be his assistant, there may or may not have been something going on between them. Maria is aware that Aya doesn't really favor her for a couple of reasons, but she still respects the young girl. And Monica is unfortunately deceased by the time the game begins. However, like Alfred, she loved Aya to bits and believed that her daughter had a promising future. Considering she's dead, I can only imagine what role she plays in the story. But the best part about the game, hands down, is the story. If you allow yourself to unlock every aspect of the lore along with following the current storyline, it's just a very engaging tale that is quite unique in my eyes. There's 3 big twists in this game, and they make this story totally worth it from the build-up. One of the twists, I believe, is only revealed in the remake. We'll get to that later. This is a dark, dark, dark story, but my goodness, it's just told so well. In my opinion, anyway. Is it a perfect story? No. Is it my favorite game? No. Is it my favorite game to watch others play? Still no, but I look back fondly at this game and the story left an impact on me. I even wrote a poem about it during my verse writing class in university. In fact, I made a video where I recited the poem. The video is unlisted, but you can view it if you go through my storytime playlist. Beware though, unlike this review, my poem is riddled with spoilers and even spoils one of the biggest twists in the game. You have been warned.
But Aloe, you worked so hard on that video. Why is it unlisted?
Because it didn't perform well and got very few views.
But Aloe, shouldn't you be doing this because you enjoy doing it and not for the views?
I do enjoy it, but I have bills to pay and I can't afford to lose potential viewers/subscribers by confusing them about what kind of content I make. Believe it or not, smaller content creators don't have as much freedom to branch out and experiment with things if they want to be successful. Consistency and knowing what type of audience you attract is key. Which is why almost every other video that isn't Miraculous Ladybug related doesn't do as well on my channel.
Aloe, do you need a hug?
Yes, please. Anyway, Mad Father has multiple endings depending on certain decisions you make, as well as how much of the lore you're able/decide to explore. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to get the true ending, but there's an extra scene at the end that only occurs if you collect all the gems. But you didn't hear that from me. Mad Father was remade back in 2020 with updated graphics. The anime sprites had a slightly different style, and the pixel sprites are a bit bigger and more detailed in both appearance and animation. Along with updated graphics, the story got updated as well. The game comes with 2 new story modes, If Mode and Blood Mode. We get an extended story in If Mode and even get to see some events from another character's perspective. Blood Mode is a sort of sequel that fills us viewers in on what happened after the initial story ended, and consists of one of those twists I was telling you about. Aesthetic-wise, I like the original version of the game better. I think the anime art was better and the little pixel sprites were endearing. Story-wise, I appreciate the additions and it only grew my fondness for the game. In conclusion, if you enjoy Miraculous Ladybug, particularly Adrien's contribution to the story, and you don't mind a bit of spooks and horror, then check out Mad Father. The game is available on Steam for PC and on the Nintendo Switch. Or you can do what I did and watch Let's Plays of it. Either way, I hope you get as much enjoyment out of this messed up tale as I did. So, what do you guys think? Does Mad Father sound interesting? Do you already know about it? Do you like it? Comment below and let's get this conversation started. And remember, I'm the artistic Aloubell, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe for more reviews, rants, and rewrites. But as for now, that's all there is. There isn't any more.